welcome to Geek Vice, the podcast brought to you by copious amounts of whiskey. I almost said vodka. I don't even drink vodka. Holy shit, I must have had too much already.
That means it's a perfect time to start recording Geek Vice, episode number 68. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Geek Vice, a podcast by two geeks just trying to be heard in a world now flooded with geeks. My name's Morph. I'm your bartender for the zombie apocalypse, drinking a nooner at night. And that man over there is Kip, a man boldly going from the couch to the kitchen and back again and enjoying a glass of whiskey. How are you doing tonight, Mr. Kip?
Well, the more I drink of this, the better I get.
And there he goes, putting it away.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I don't know about you, but it's kind of been a long week since we last recorded. I feel like it's been a really long time, and it has only been a week.
Well, it's even been less than that because we do that other podcast called Geek Fecta on Thursday.
That is right.
It's only been a few days, and it feels like a long week.
That is true. And we do have a Geek Fecta is coming up again in a couple weeks, and those should be going live. I think can we find them on our YouTube page?
They are on the YouTube page. I am pretty damn close to getting them on iTunes.
There you go. So soon there will be a whole nother podcast for you guys to listen to. And Geek Fecta, for those of you that don't know, is a I don't know, do we call it a list making? I really should write down the intro that Bill writes, and just we could use that as our tag thing. But it's kind of a list, our top threes of favorite in board games and video games, television and movies, and comic books, and well, the written word. And we pick a topic. I think next week's topic will be post-apocalyptic. Your post-apocalyptic Mad Max type things. That's gonna be some good conversation. So you guys have to check that one out. It's called Geek Fecta.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic, or as I call it, 5 o'clock during the weekdays.
Yes. Exactly. So yeah, you guys will have to go. Anyone listening to this, go check that podcast out too. If you like listening to us talk, then you get a few more of us. You get the two of us, and sometimes a couple other guys. Bill and John from Prolific Games are also join us for that one. So,
it was Bill's brainchild, so we have to give him credit for that.
That we do, and it is a little funny that it's called Geek Fecta, but there's four of us on the podcast. So,
math is hard.
Somebody just might have to sit on the bench or something.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, me too. All right, so what do we got up this week? I need to start the timer.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
All right, what do you got? What movie did you go see this week?
We did not make it to the theater, but we did get Maleficent on DVD. Have you seen Maleficent?
I have not, but I know it has Angelina Jolie as Maleficent.
Yeah, that was the whole reason we didn't go see it. But
because you don't think she can play Maleficent? We should just see how many times we can say Maleficent and say it right before one of us two drinkers screw up the name.
Again, I'll drink to that. No, you see I saw the trailers before it came out, and it's like, I don't think this is going to be a good movie. There's something about it, and it's not like I have anything against Angelina Jolie. I just, for some reason, the trailer was just a turnoff, for lack of a better word. But we went ahead and got it from the library, and we watched it over the weekend. And I have to say, I really enjoyed the movie. So the trailer fooled me, and it was actually a really good movie. It was a nice twist on the Sleeping Beauty story. And do you plan on seeing this at all?
Maybe eventually, but I mean, my schedule and seeing movies, it'll be like 6 years down the road.
Yeah. So I won't spoil it just in case. But it's got the tropes in there. Sleeping Beauty goes to sleep, only true love's kiss can awaken her. But it's the backstory to get you to there, and the true love's kiss is a twist.
Okay.
If you can even say there's a twist to a kiss, which is a couple more drinks of whiskey, and I wouldn't be able to say that. But and the evil queen or whatever she was in Sleeping Beauty. She was actually a fairy in Maleficent that had been wronged and turned basically into a scorned woman. So therefore came off as evil and ended up being the hero in the end. So yeah, it was nice, and it was visually stunning movie. The acting was fantastic, and the story was great, and it was Disney, and I can't think. No, I don't think anybody died in the first 10 minutes.
Really?
I can't think of anybody.
Something doesn't seem right there.
I know. It threw me off, too. It's like Disney. There should be carnage, but no. So if you have not seen it, or if you were like me and saw the trailer and went, nah, I'll pass, go ahead and give it a shot. I think you'll like it. It was really good.
All right, I'm putting that on the list.
Do it. By the time you're 80, you'll get to it.
Yeah, with the size of my list, it will be probably about that long.
Well, sometimes size does matter.
That's what they keep telling me.
It's lies, I tell you. Okay, and then when we weren't watching that, House of Cards Season 3 started on Netflix this weekend. And so we have dove into that. We're like on episode 6. So it's a 13-episode season, so we're almost halfway there. Have you watched any of this? Have you seen any of the first two?
I have not. I want to, but
I know. Tell me, it's on the list.
Yeah, it is on the list. That, along with Orange is the New Black. I still have to get my that will be changing rather quickly once I drop cable. Then those are going to be my main sources of entertainment. So those are going to get bumped pretty high up on the list.
Well, since you haven't seen it, I will save us the spoilers, but the way Season 2 ended, it kind of felt like, all right, he has reached the pinnacle. So what the heck are they going to do for Season 3? And they started Season 3 with a backstory that's like, wow, I guess they do know what they're doing. They have created you could see the season coming down to this final conflict between him and another character, and you always know he wins. But I don't know, maybe this time he's going to lose. I mean, they're not painting a rosy picture for him, so just like Season 1 and 2, he always seems to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of everybody, and then when he does get caught off guard, it doesn't last long that he is dumbfounded. And Kevin Spacey's just the man. And when he breaks the fourth wall in that show, it just really works for me. And so when you finally get your whole Netflix thing figured out, Morph, I highly recommend jumping into that. And hey, every now and then there's nudity, so you got that going for you.
Well, that's good. I gotta have that.
Well, at least I don't have to have it, but I'm not going to turn it away either.
Yeah, I understand that one.
Again, I'll drink to that.
So we've got House of Cards. We need to go see. I need to start watching and get caught up on. And Maleficent, I need to get the show and watch that one. Now, to go back to Maleficent, is that something that I could watch? Like, would that be age appropriate? Could I watch that with the kids? It's.
Oh, I thought you meant for yourself.
Well, nothing is age appropriate for me.
It's a Disney movie. If they can see,
I mean, they saw Big Hero 6 and were fine with that. They watched stuff like Goonies and Back to the Future. And
yeah, I totally think it would be fine.
okay,
Um, there's a part where some action and some scariness happens, so maybe they'd get a little bit scared, but I wouldn't say anything
no more
adult.
than no more than like Ghostbusters.
Exactly. It's not like it's an adult themes or anything like that. It's just there's a little bit of scariness, I think, from a 7-year-old's perspective or 6-year-old or 5-year-old.
I gotcha.
But yeah, family friendly. I'll say it from the guy who's drinking whiskey. It's family friendly.
That just got moved up a little bit higher on the list. So, because anything I can watch with the kids that I can put in and the kids might enjoy, then that's worth checking out.
Yeah. Oh, and you missed out on game night on Friday night.
I did. How did that go?
It went pretty well. Of course, we played a couple of games of Flapjacks and Sasquatches because we can.
It's not a game night without a little Flapjacks and Sasquatches.
That's right. It's a requirement. Unfortunately, the same guy won both games we played, so that's not right.
Was that you?
No, it was not me. That's why it's unfortunate.
Was it Trevor?
No, it was Brad Freeman.
Oh, Freeman.
Yes, or B Free as we call him. But then we played a game called Wiz War, and basically it's not everybody pees on each other, as Wiz War would suggest, but you actually play a wizard, and you got to either hunt down other wizards, steal their treasure, do whatever. If you kill another wizard, you get a victory point. If you steal the treasure, you get a victory point. First 1 to 2 victory points wins. And everybody else was picking on each other, and I was just kind of going by unnoticed, so I was able to win.
Awesome.
Yeah. One guy was picking on another guy, and I just walked in at the last moment when he had no hit points left, killed him, took his treasure, ran back to my home base with the treasure, and won. So
that's awesome.
So I can at least say I won that game. And then we played a couple of games of Smash Up. I never played Smash Up before. And it's kind of a deck building game where you combine a couple of decks like aliens and zombies or robots and monsters or something like this. And then you got these different bases in your card. You have minions that have point values, and once your point values of the minions go over the value of the base, basically you've like taken over the base and you get victory points for that. And first 1 to 15 wins. I got close a couple times, never won, but it's a fun game. In fact, I think I'm going to add it to my list and maybe pick that up sometime. It was a fun game.
Yeah, that sounds fun. It's a bummer I missed that one.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy that game.
Yeah, we'll have to get that one back out the next time.
Let's do that!
I like that idea.
All right, so that was my weekend. I watched TV, movie, and played games. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, sounds like a good weekend. I mean, I did a little bit of what did I do? Not a whole lot this last week.
Apparently.
It's just been really busy with everything else that's non-fun related, and so my fun really has been, or my enjoyment. I get a little enjoyment, like, it snowed here in the Kansas City area over the weekend, so yesterday it was fun to take all the kids out and watch them run around in the snow, and there was a game of Capture the Flag that went on with the kids, and that was kind of fun. I got to play referee for that, so that was kind of fun. And the little 3-year-old, watching him learn how to sled, because, last winter when we had all that snow, it was too much snow. It was up to like his waist, and he couldn't move around in it, and so it was just like, you know, he just wasn't quite big enough and mobile enough to enjoy it. Well, this snow was just enough, and he's just old enough now to be able to really get out and enjoy it. So I got to watch him learn how to sled on the snow, and he kept getting mad at me because, we don't have a real big hill. Our town is pretty flat. I live in Kansas, okay, guys? I live in Kansas, so there's not a whole lot of hills, but I've got a little hill in my front porch, like from my front steps down towards the street. And so we were having the kids sled down that. Well, some of the bigger kids, it's not long enough to really get any momentum going, so they don't go very far. So I would take them and grab the sled and just kind of give them a real big push and send them a little bit farther so they could get a little bit longer of a ride out of it. Well, I did that with my 3-year-old, and he did not like that. He wanted to do it himself. And so he would just lay down on the sled, and then it wouldn't go anywhere. And then he would start getting mad because it wouldn't go anywhere, but the moment you touched him, he'd freak out. No, I want to do it myself. So finally he figured out that if he jumps onto the sled, it gives it enough momentum to get him over that crest and start going down the hill. Then the smile lit up on his face. His eyes got real big. He's like, yes, this is what I want to be doing. And so that was kind of the most fun that I had over the weekend, because that was just incredible to watch him learn how to do that.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, that was one of those moments where the kids could drive you up the wall completely, and you want to just strangle all of them, and then you see that happen, and you're like, oh man, I'm so glad I'm a dad. And then they go do something that makes you want to kill them again. So it's a constant up and down battle. But after all of that, and after, playing out in the snow, all the kids were tired, so they went to bed early. So that means I actually got to watch. All I did was sit down on my bed and flipped on the TV, and I just happened to be right when a new show started, and they said it's the season premiere of it, and I'm like, huh, that's fine. I'll see what this is, and if it's not any good, I'll just start one of the shows I got recorded. This show is called Last Man on Earth. It stars Will Forte, and he plays a guy named Phil Miller, and he is literally the last man on Earth. It is they classify it as a comedy / sitcom, and it's hilarious. This show is actually really funny. It gets morbid at times, but Will Forte plays literally the last person on Earth. There's nobody else there, at least for the first episode. And they ran the first 2 episodes last night. It looks like this is going to run on Sunday nights, probably either 8 or 9. I can never tell if it's Central or Eastern, the times they give you on the internet. So I'm gonna warn everybody that it's probably like 8. I think it's about 8 o'clock on Sunday nights. 30-minute long show, so it's nice, quick. This thing looks like a lot of fun. I'm actually gonna try to catch these live, because that's just kind of the perfect time. I can just flip it on, and it was actually really funny. I mean, the first episode is all about him going state to state, and basically just taking what he wants and then leaving notes on basically the welcome signs to a city or to a state. He spray paints on there, "Alive in Tucson," and so he lives in Tucson, and he doesn't like the little almost like shack hotel room type thing that he's living in, and since he's the last person on Earth, he just goes and steals himself a big nice mansion in a gated community, and he unloads this big, he's just driving around in this huge tour bus, and he pulls up and starts unloading all his stuff, and it's Van Goghs, it's all these fancy paintings. There, he takes he has the rug from the Oval Office, like this, and he rolls that out in his entryway. He's like, he's and then of course he goes to the I can't remember if it's a gas station or it's like a grocery store type thing, and it's got the magazines that are in black plastic, and he just takes all of them. And so he has
he's got a lot of time on his hands.
He's got stacks and stacks of porn magazines. He's living in filth. It's at one point he's watching because apparently electricity still works. He doesn't have running water, but he has electricity. I don't know. I mean, okay, I'll take it. But he's watching the movie Castaway, and with Tom Hanks, right? Castaway.
Yes. Yep.
And he's talking to the volleyball Wilson.
Nice.
And so Will Forte then goes, or Phil Miller goes to like the local bar there, breaks in, and sets up bar stools around a pool table, and then puts different sports balls that he's drawn faces on. So there's like a tennis ball, there's a volleyball, there's a basketball, there's a badminton birdie that he's got set upside down, and on the tip of it's he drew a face. And so those are the people that he talks to while he's playing pool. So it's like, okay, if it works for Tom Hanks, it's got to work for him, right? So,
nice.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that's in this show. The second episode, he does end up meeting a girl, and how he meets her is hilarious. I'm not going to spoil that part because the sequence when he realizes there's a girl there, one, he passes out, and the sequence from that point on is hilarious. The interaction between the two of them is great, and I think the thing to cap off this show is Phil takes this girl and shows him his place and kind of explains the different. He's got 3 different pools. He has a bathroom pool where he's cut a hole in the diving board and takes shits into the pool because they don't have running water. And his second pool is a trash pool where he's just thrown all of his trash, which looks like a lot until you see the inside of his house. And then the third pool is a little blow-up pool that's got a bottle of tequila, and it's his margarita pool. And she asks us, like, do you swim in this pool? He's like, well, you swim or drink it, or, there's really nothing you can do wrong with a margarita pool. It's like, that is awesome.
This is a true story.
I want a margarita pool. So
the question then is, so you're the last man on Earth. Why would you stay in Tucson? The summers are harsh. Why don't you move to San Diego or some shit like that?
I can't answer that question for you. All I know is he lives in Tucson.
Well, I guess he just knows his way around, and he knew where the perfect pool to have a margarita pool would be. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he knew which house to break into, and so it's actually really kind of funny. I think this show is going to end up being kind of a it's going to kind of be a redemption type video or TV show. He's kind of a slob and disgusting, and the girl ends up not being that way and still follows the rules, and so it's the difference of opinion there that just kind of build up the drama back and forth between the two of them. So that's actually pretty funny. There's one moment where he's driving her to his house, and he runs a stop sign, and she's like, did you not see the stop sign? There was a stop sign back there. You ran it. He's like, yeah. And here's another stop sign. And he runs right through it. She's like, no, you don't understand. You need to stop at the stop sign. He's like, stop signs were to help mitigate traffic. We're the only ones here. There is no traffic. Therefore, there are no stop signs. And then, of course, she starts flipping out on him. He's like, okay, I'll stop. So it's just kind of, that scenario that every man fears, with where the woman just dictates to him everything that's going to happen, and you have no choice or hope. So that happens to him a lot. It's quite entertaining. So I recommend it. Go check it out. Sunday nights, let's say 8 p.m. Central Time on Fox.
I'm looking forward to checking this out. I'm sorry I missed it so far.
There's only been 2 episodes that have aired. The next one comes on March 8th, so that would be next Sunday. And they're just 30-minute episodes. So the very first episode was actually written by Will Forte, so since he stars in it, then it must be pretty good.
Absolutely. That sounds pretty damn funny. I can't wait to check it out.
They also don't explain why, or at least they haven't yet, why there is no one else on Earth. They just say a virus wipes out humanity. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get some more information on that too, on what happened there. So I don't know.
Very cool.
I don't know. Check it out though. All right, and let's see. The other thing that I got on my plate here is something that I ran across today, and I wanted to share it with everybody because, anytime I don't really help out a whole lot of charities, but there's a few charities that I'm big for, and one of them is the Lupus Foundation. And I have a family member that has lupus, and so anytime I can help get the word out about this thing, I'm going to. And it's also geeky, believe it or not. The Geek and Sundry channel on YouTube is going to twitch.tv, and they're starting this up tomorrow, will be the first day, and they are starting with a 48-hour live stream charity drive for the Lupus Foundation. It starts at 5 p.m. Pacific, so what would that be, 3 p.m. here?
Say that again.
5 p.m. Pacific? Is that 3 here?
Think about it.
7 here.
7, there you go.
I went the wrong. Hey.
I gave you every opportunity.
I always do that. It always messes me up. So 7 p.m. Central Time tomorrow night, March 3rd, they will be starting off. It is, you can look them up. The website is twitch.tv/geekandsundry. I'll also put a link on our Facebook page to them. But, for those of you that don't know, Geek and Sundry is Felicia Day's brainchild. Started as a YouTube channel and started out with just a couple of shows, but she's got people on here like Will Wheaton's Tabletop, Ryan Day, The Nerdist, Jesse Cox, Sarah the Rebel. There's a whole bunch of people on here and they do some really good shows. So I recommend, if you haven't seen Geek and Sundry, check out their YouTube page. If you have, and even if you haven't, tomorrow check out their Twitch TV thing and support the Lupus Foundation.
Absolutely. Good cause, good times.
Yeah. So now we can move on to our main topic.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun-dun. And this one is more just of a question that I kind of came up with and kind of asked myself as I was getting caught up on the Arrow, or I guess just Arrow on the CW. I was trying to get caught up on those shows, and I'm a couple episodes behind on the Flash, and I'm I think a couple episodes behind on Gotham. I've got all these comic book TV shows that I'm falling behind on. And then I started thinking to myself while I'm watching the Arrow, I wonder if this is happening in the comic books, or I wonder if anything like this has happened in the comic books, because he's died like 3 times now, supposedly died, and he's, now he's giving up, like, taking care of the city so that he can go train in the woods with his sister, who's now some ninja assassin because she spent 3 weeks with the bad guy ninja. It's just like, this is so convoluted and messed up, and most of the time this doesn't even make sense. I'm wondering if the comic books are the same way. So it made me think, well, are these TV shows and comic book movies, are they actually causing people, or would they cause you to go buy more comic books or go read more comic books? For me, I've already read Avengers. I read Avengers back when I was a kid, but then when the Avengers movies started coming out, I actually did start getting more Avengers titles and reading some more of those. Kind of got back into those characters. The same with, I was really enjoying the Spider-Man movies, and then I'm like, you know what, I wonder, I should read some more comic books. So then I started reading some more of the Spider-Man comic books, because I've heard they've had some good runs. Dan Slott had a good run on The Amazing Spider-Man. And, so it's like, I guess it is kind of having an effect on me. Although, I get mine digitally, so I'm not paying as much for them, if at all. So maybe it's not really helping them the way they wanted to. But what about you, Kip?
Well, I was not a comic book reader. I hate to admit it. When I was a kid, I read a few random ones, not like I put any series together or anything like that. But I'd say since the Avengers movie, and since then, Arrow has come out, Flash has come out, Daredevil's getting ready to come out. It has caused me to start reading comics. We had Angel Chris on last week, and we talked comics, and then in fact she shared a pretty tall stack of comics with me that I am getting through. One's Pretty Deadly, and the other one's called Epic. So I'm going to say it has had the effect on me that I think Marvel was hoping for, and that is I am reading comics. I even went to a comic book shop and bought a hardback trade. So yes, just take my money, damn it. That's the effect it's having.
Well, and I guess it is also getting us both to our first comic book convention. I don't know that the movies are doing that, or more just the fact that we're more involved in everything, but we will be going to it's at least, well, this be for your first classified comic book convention, right?
Absolutely. It's at least the first one that has Comic-Con in the title.
Yeah. Yeah, so we will both be going to Planet Comic-Con here in Kansas City at Bartle Hall in, what is that, a week and a half?
Yeah, March 13th through the 15th.
Yeah, so if you guys want to come out, and we will be there on Saturday the 14th, or at least I'll be there Saturday the 14th.
That's when I'll be there.
So
I'll be the guy that's totally looks out of his element. That'll be me.
I think that's going to be both of us. But, hey, you can hit us up on our Twitter, at Kip Killigan or at GeekVice, and we will, maybe we can hook up with people if they're listening to this and actually going.
Yeah, and if you have a totally slutty-looking cosplay, then definitely look us up and let us take pictures.
Yes. I'm all about that. So
even
yeah,
if it's not slutty, even if it's really cool, I just love that cosplay stuff. Take the perverted side away from it. I really do like that stuff. People really put a lot of good work and imagination into those things, and sometimes it's like, holy cow, that is awesome. You should probably do this for a living.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that do this, do cosplay for a living, and man, even the ones that don't, that's just a hobby. they do some crazy costumes, and it's just awesome to be able to walk around and see some of that stuff. So
Yeah, the first time I went to Gen Con, that was what I was all about. It's like, holy cow. I probably spent more time in just the general walk area where, the people were in costume and posing for pictures and stuff. It's like, that's just incredible. It must be nice to have artistic talent. So my artistic talent is I can click this button and it takes a picture of your artistic talent. But yeah, I love that stuff. I'm looking forward to it. Plus, I get to see the comic book culture, I guess is the word for it. So it's going to be good for me. I think it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. If you're looking for tickets, you can go to, I think it's planetcomiccon.com.
I know, crazy enough as it sounds, that's what
I know. Shocking.
Weird.
But, you can go there and get your tickets, get your passes. You can get 3 days still. You can get single day. You can get it all. They're all still available. I don't know how many are available, but they're still there as of this morning. So go check them out. Come meet us out there. Maybe buy some more comic books. I'm trying to decide what I want to do, because I know I could go through and try to see if I can't find some good deals on some comic books. I might have to go pull up my list of back issues that I'm missing for some of my bigger collections and see if I can't fill some holes there and maybe not spend an arm and a leg. I don't know. I haven't decided.
That'd be good.
Yeah, might be worth the thing, the look-see.
Definitely, and then, if you buy enough stuff, we can then make fun of you on this podcast about all the stuff you spent money on, which, we never do that.
No, that is true. Nobody makes fun of me for spending money. That is true. Yeah, I am the cheap bastard of the group. That is for sure. So what else you got? You got anything else you want to throw out there, Mr. Kip? Kind of a little hodgepodge type show today, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's what we're good at. You know what? I do have one more thing. We finally finished The Almighty Johnsons. I know you've heard me talk about it before. It's a show from New Zealand about four brothers who are Norse gods.
Yeah.
And it is what I would classify as typically British, even though it takes place in New Zealand. That is, they had a story to tell. It took 3 seasons to tell it, and then they're done. And it's kind of refreshing. There was no superfluous episodes. The way they ended the show was fantastic. It's like, wow, I'm really going to miss the show now because it ended on such a great note. But I think that's what they wanted. It's like, okay, this is the story we want to tell. This is how we want it to end. We're done. And so I highly recommend, if you can catch the first 3 seasons, or the only 3 seasons of that, give it a shot. There were some times where you're like, all right, you're not really acting godlike, or you guys don't really act like brothers. But when a push came to shove, and towards the end of the deal, it really worked. And the finale was fantastic. I think the finale really made the show. And I know that sounds weird to say, but it really did make the show.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think I've got them all here. I just gotta watch them.
I recommend it.
They're 30-minute long shows, so I might actually be able to get those in. That's what I've actually been looking more of recently, is just some 30-minute long shows that I can watch that I can just turn on my computer in the mornings while I'm on my exercise bike, or lifting a few weights here in the mornings before I go to work, and trying to get this fat ass back in shape. And so 30 minutes is all I've got in the morning, so I don't have time to really watch a full episode of some of the stuff I have recorded. So I'm going to put that on the top of my list.
Do it! Yes.
It is there. So
excellent.
we got that. I think the one other thing that I'll throw out there is I talked about it last week. I think it was last week about the penny arcades, rain on the precipice, rain slick precipice of darkness. I think is the name of the title.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
Exactly, and I've already had a drink or two, so really, really fun game. Still enjoying that thing, having a blast with it. I've actually think I've played that game longer than I've played. It's actually the second longest game that I've played on Steam since I've started getting Steam games, since it keeps track of all that. The only game I've played longer than that one is Murdered Soul Suspect, and I beat that game. So I'm loving this game. I think they got the right kind of setup for it. I think the gameplay is fun and the combat is fun, and it is a blast. So go check that out.
Sweet. Like you, I will add that to my list and see how long it takes me to get to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, I play the video games more. You watch the movies more. And
that's right. Shows. Passive entertainment for me. Just like sex, that way I can just lay there and enjoy it.
Bingo.
Boom.
And on that note, we'll cue the music. So, guys, go check us out on our blog at geekvice.blogspot.com. You can follow us on Google Plus and Facebook. Just search for Geek Vice. You can follow Kip on Twitter at Kip Killigan. You can follow me on Twitter at Geek Vice. I've been posting. I'm trying. My goal is to post something on Twitter every day. So
don't hurt yourself.
I posted like 4 things today. So
you need a nap. You're gonna have to take a nap.
So I'm overdoing it. It's what happens when you leave your tablet at work. So I've just been on Twitter all night. So thanks everybody for listening to our ramblings. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach us at geekvice@gmail.com. You can, and also make sure you guys go check out Geek and Sundry on Twitch TV tomorrow night. Support the Lupus Foundation. Give them some money. Anything else from you, Mr. Kip?
Nope, I'm just ready to sign off and go to sleep because I drank all my whiskey.
We will see you guys next week.
Later.